Welcome, future CPA, to the head-to-head comparison smackdown of Becker CPA Review versus Roger CPA Review. So you really can't do any research on CPA Review courses without hearing about these wildly popular courses and how they both claim to be the best, and yet they're oh so different. Meaning that for some folks, picking the wrong course here could be the difference between passing and failing the CPA exam. And fun fact, I was one of those people who made the wrong choice, so we'll cover that a little bit later. But for now, let's break down the pricing, the video lectures, the CPA exam questions, the customer support, the software access time, and all the wonderful study supplements that both of these courses offer, so that you can make the right choice for your specific situation and really reduce the risk of failing the CPA exam. Now, before we dive into the comparison, I did want to let you know about 3 pieces of bonus content that I put together for you that will really complement this video and significantly help in your purchasing decision, that you can find in the video description and the comment section directly below this video. So the first bonus content is my free CPA exam study personality quiz. So you really need to understand that everybody learns differently. And before you can make the right CPA review course investment, you need to understand how you learn best and which course is going to cater to your study personality. So if you don't know your study personality yet, I highly recommend finding it at freecpaquiz.com, and be sure to select the brand new CPA candidate option. So next up is my exclusive discounts for both of these courses. So I was able to twist their arms into allowing me to share their biggest discounts currently available to my viewers. So to claim these discounts, you will need to head to the video description or the comment section below this video to find the most current promo codes that are available. Now, I will mention that I do receive a small commission if you use these links, but if this head-to-head comparison has helped you in any way, I'd love your support, because as you will notice, I keep my channel ad-free just for you guys. So finally, I'm super excited to be able to give my viewers my best-selling Amazon book as well. So Start, Study, and Pass the CPA Exam Fast, my proven 8-step CPA Exam Study Playbook is the name of the book, and you can get instant access to it by visiting freecpabook.com, which you can find in the video description or the comment section below. All right, so with all that out of the way, let's get cracking into this head-to-head comparison. All right, welcome to Becker CPA Review. So before we dive into the actual course itself, I wanted to give you a brief overview of what you get if you invest in Becker CPA Review Course, and a little bit about the pricing. So their self-study course is, it's a 4-part program. It includes 100 plus hours of instruction, 6,200 multiple choice questions, over 300 task-based simulations. They've started using this new thing called Adapt to You, which we'll be covering later. And a whole lot of other content that you can use to prepare for the CPA exam, such as like 2 mock exams and so forth. So in terms of pricing, so basically you can buy a single section for about $1,000, or you can get all 4 sections if you buy it as a bundle for $3,393, which, let me tell you, is by far, by about $1,000, the most expensive CPA review course currently on the market. And the reason they can do this is because they are the biggest name in the industry, and they've really teamed up with all the public accounting firms that are out there, who then, the public accounting firms will then provide Becker for all of their new employees. So for those of you who don't have a firm paying for Becker for you, it's a little, it sucks, because they pass that additional cost on to you, and you're forced to shell out $3,393. So my guess is the reason you're watching this video is because you're not sure if Becker CPA Review is worth all this money. So that is what we're going to be discussing today as we go through all the different features. Okay, so let's discuss Roger CPA Review's pricing packages. So they offer 3 primary packages. So the first is the Select package. This is their most basic package, but it still includes their entire CPA review course. So it's definitely enough to get you across the finish line. It just doesn't include as many bells and whistles. The next is their Premier course package. So this is the next level up. And then their Elite course package is the mother load. It includes everything you could possibly imagine. So the biggest difference between the packages is going to be your course duration. So you got 18 months for the Select, and you can purchase an individual section. So if you need just one section, this is the package that you want to check out. Premier comes with 24 months, and then the Elite comes with unlimited course access plus a ton of extra goodies like flashcards, audio lectures, the cram course, and then some additional customer support, which will get you help even faster. So these are the primary packages that are available from Roger CPA Review. So the pricings over time, they vary. So if they're not what they're at in this video, don't worry about it. Just be aware that there are discounts directly below this video. So these are pre-discount prices for each package, and they also have some financing available. So be sure to check out the current discounts directly below this video in the comment section or video description before going any further. All right, guys, so welcome to the Becker CPA Review actual self-study online course. So the first thing I want to look at, of course, is lectures. So for each section, you're going to have between 10 and 6 modules that you'll have to get through. And something that's new for this year is that Becker actually breaks down each of these primary modules into sub-modules as well. So let's take a look at F2 here. So as you can see, instead of watching one super long lecture, they now break them up into 15-minute lectures, give or take a few by a few minutes. So this is a big shift in the whole learning process for Becker CPA Review, because in the past it was you would sit for 2 to 3 hours and watch a single lecture, and it would cover all of this. And now it looks like they're starting to break things up, which is definitely a move in the right direction. So let's go ahead and take a look at a sample question. Oh, and I should mention that the new Adapt to You technology is essentially, it's just a pre-assessment. So basically they're going to give you a sample quiz and you'll answer the questions, and then based on how well you do, if you get above 80%, then they'll give you a recommendation for what you should do. So it's not exactly the most advanced technology that's out there. And honestly, I don't know if taking a pre-assessment really proves that you will know something on exam day, because maybe you know it now, but by exam day you'll forget it. So I would recommend not necessarily using the pre-assessment. Use it as a guide. So maybe if you get above 80%, I would still at least read the textbook to make sure there's nothing in there that you didn't know, and so forth. So again, the Adapt to You to me is not that impressive, and honestly it could probably hurt you in the long run if you're not careful. Okay, so with that being said, let's take a look at the lecture. Okay, so let's see, this dashboard looks completely different as well. So you're going to have a page from the textbook, and each page corresponds with an individual lecture. So basically there's a little intro video here. And you can make the video a little bit bigger. You can move it around. But the intro video is the only thing that will have an actual video. So once you actually dive into the video lectures themselves, it'll just be him talking and there won't be a talking head, which is kind of cool. So other options are you can turn the instructor's notes on and off. So Becker's famous for highlighting and underlining in your textbook. This stuff made me fall asleep, honestly, but it's nice that you can turn it all on so that if you just want to skim through the lecture, you can understand what's important, what's not. There's subtitles, and you can also increase the speed or decrease it, depending on what you would like to do. You can also take notes. You can also highlight within the electronic textbook, which is kind of cool. So now you don't need the actual physical textbook because those things are pretty heavy to lug around. And it's kind of nice because this will save into a database and you can come back to all the highlights and everything if you need to search. And then any bookmarks that will, so the highlight there pops up here in your little bookmark tab. So overall, it's very clean, very easy to use. I like that the instructor notes can pop on and off. So overall, I am a big fan of the Becker video lectures. I mean, these guys are super corny. You're going to roll your eyes a ton. There's definitely more energetic lecturers out there, but again, they get the job done in terms of presenting the material. Now, the obvious star of the show for Roger CPA Review is Roger Phillip, the lead instructor for all 4 sections of the CPA exam. So as you can see, this is the actual interior design of Roger CPA Review. It's very clean, very mobile friendly, and as you can see, for each section of the CPA exam, they have a set of topics. So it looks like about 10 topics for audit, and within each topic, there are subtopics that you can watch the video reviews for. So each subtopic, as you can see here, they range in time from 3 minutes to 27 minutes. So very reasonable amounts of time. So you're not going to be sitting there for hours on end watching a single lecture. So they really, at Roger, they really like to keep things moving between lectures and reading and multiple choice so that you're constantly on your toes, which I really appreciate as somebody with a low sense of focus. So let's take a look at the dashboard.
Welcome back. Now that we understand the basics of the different types of audits, what you get. So what that basically says is you're not required to report audited financial tax basis, governmental regulation.
So as you can see, Roger is the most hyped up lecturer that you're ever going to find in accounting. And if you're somebody who likes energy and needs somebody who, whose volume, their voice goes up and down, and they, they're not afraid to yell during the lecture, then Roger is your guy. He really clearly explains the material. He'll write on the whiteboard. They'll go over multiple choice questions. You can speed up the lectures. You can slow them down. You can bookmark, you can use closed captioning if English isn't your first language. You can go HD or low bandwidth if you're on mobile, make the video full screen and so forth. So there's a lot of interesting things that you can do to these videos to stick along. And of course, the textbook is right alongside as you progress through the video lecture as well. So I would... it's hard to find video lectures that are better than the ones that Roger CPA Review have put together here. All right, so let's dive into the Becker multiple choice questions and simulations. So as I mentioned before, you'll have your skills practice, which is going to be your simulations practice, and then your multiple choice practice quizzes as well. So let's go ahead and open up a new one here and start with skills practice. So this will be a little bit of preparation for simulation. So there's basically a little intro video about discussing what you're going to be learning about accounting changes and error corrections and so forth. Let's see here, let's skip to the next page, and then you'll be doing a little learning about the analysis portion of this skill level. And then here's your practice simulation. So then you'll fill in the dollar amounts and so forth, and then you can explain it. So this will basically be a walkthrough of what the answer should be and so forth. So again, this is pretty innovative. I haven't actually seen any other CPA review courses focusing this much on the different skill levels. So this is definitely a welcome change. And so basically you're just going to be given a bunch of sample simulations that you can complete with corresponding videos to walk you through it. In terms of multiple choice questions, let's go ahead and click begin. So this section, there's going to be 49 questions. We're not going to answer them all here, but to give you a basic idea, so you'll make a selection and then it will immediately let you know if you got the answer right or wrong. And each question is linked to the textbook, and you can also bookmark them. You'll see the total time spent, the total number of times that you've seen this question before, and all this fun stuff. And you can also link directly to academic support if you're having issues with this particular question. Okay, and then once you've completed it, it will give you all your statistics. You click OK, and then it will update here on the dashboard as you're progressing through. Now, let's see here. Oops, let's see. Let's go to F2 here. So I will say that after each module, there's going to be a progress test. So this is going to be where you can take a practice exam over everything you've learned up to this point. And there's all sorts of reports and save tests and so forth. So let's go ahead and click a new test. So you can select all the units or just one if you want to only do F2. Oops. All right. Oh, we gotta make a selection here. Let's do 5 questions. Begin the test. And again, it's very similar, except this time when you make a selection, it doesn't give you the answer. So let's walk through this. Then you end the progress test. Okay, and then you'll see your overall analytics. So how you're doing based on each individual module, and you can break it down even farther into the individual sub-modules as well, which is pretty cool. And then it will give you your overall progress reports and all that. So again, it gives you a lot of data, and you can really use this data to understand where you're struggling and where to actually spend your time studying. All right, now obviously a CPA review course can't stand on its own 2 feet by only providing excellent video lectures. So let's take a look at the practice quizzes, or IPQs, or interactive practice questions, that Roger CPA Review offers, so that you can compare them to other courses. So you can access them there in the side dashboard, or in the just from your study planner here. So let's go here. Okay, so now basically this is the high-level analytics that they're providing. So you're going to see your total results by individual section. And then if you want to take a quiz, you have 2 options. So the first one is the brand new Smart Path. So this is a very innovative feature from Roger CPA Review. So, you know, the buzzword around the CPA review course industry, of course, is adaptive learning. So Roger's taking a very different approach, and instead of using an algorithm to look at how you're answering and give you suggestions on what you need to be doing, they're taking the data that they have from their tens of thousands of CPA candidates who have passed the CPA exam, taken a look at the data of what questions those students answered and got correct, and then applied it to what's called Smart Path. So basically, as you go through the course and you're answering questions, they're going to compare your results to CPA candidates who have already passed the CPA exam. And based on how you're performing, they're going to give you suggestions for questions that you need to be focusing on. So it's very cool. I think it's a very smart way to set up your CPA review course planning. And so here's how it works. So for each individual section, so here's odd 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth, you're going to basically be progressing through the material. So they'll, you know, you get started, then you're making some progress, then you're getting close, and then after you've hit your targets here, so you have a target score for the odd 1 of 89%, and you need to complete 152 questions. So as you get close to that mark, and depending on how you're performing on the questions, their Smart Path is going to tell you that, okay, you're good to go, you still need some improvement, or definitely needs a lot of improvement, depending on your results. So it's very simple to follow. It really gives you a clear idea of where you need to be spending your time studying, and I definitely think this is going to be the new future for Roger CPA Review. Now you can still follow a more linear path and set up a new quiz here, and select the sections that you want to quiz yourself on, and there's all sorts of different filters that you can apply, and so forth. So let's go ahead and I'll show you a Smart Path quiz here. So we'll start a Smart Quiz. So as you can see, it pulls in 12 multiple choice questions I've never seen before, 3 that I've previously answered incorrectly, and then a task-based simulation question as well that I've never seen. So you click begin, and so here is the actual practice quiz. So you can, I highly recommend setting the score as you go and explain answer when you're first studying. So that way when you click this, it's going to, let's see here, when you go to the next one, yeah, it will give you, hey, look at that, you got it correct, and here's why you got it correct. So then you can continue. And well, yeah, you don't want to set the score as you go. That gets a little annoying after a while. Sorry about that. But you get the idea. So basically you make your selection, you know, it's tied to the textbook. You can make a note. You can bookmark this question for later. And there's the calculator and all that fun stuff. So again, the functionality is very similar to what you'll see on the real CPA exam. Not exact, but close enough to get you comfortable answering
multiple choice questions. So let's see here if we can get to the, let's see, oops. Okay, now let's go to the linear one here, and I'll show you. It's basically the same thing, but let's go ahead and look at a simulation. So the format for the standard old version of the new quiz is basically the same. They're just, you're manually selecting the sections you want to pick. So that's the big difference. Okay, and then here is the simulation. So again, so you're given some resources here, and then you got your document review for the document review simulation, or DRS, and then you need to go through and answer the question just like you would on the real CPA exam. So again, very close to what you'll see on the real CPA exam. So overall, I'm very impressed with Roger CPA Review's multiple choice questions and simulations. Their multiple choice analytics, as we looked previously, they were at a high level. I would like to see it go down to the subunit level. That would give you a much better idea, because the odd one, it has a lot of different topics within it. So it'd be nice to know which topics within odd one you're struggling with. But as of right now, it's only at the high level. So courses like Gleim and Wiley CPA Excel and Becker, they give you a little bit more detail in terms of that. But with the Smart Path technology, I think I feel fairly comfortable with, that this system will help you understand where you need to be spending your time and so forth. So and the system will know which subsection you're struggling with, so it should assign those types of questions. But again, I would like to have a little bit more control over knowing exactly where it is. But really, that's my only complaint so far with the Roger CPA Review test bank. All right, so let's discuss Becker's CPA candidate customer support options. So basically, their business hours are Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and then they have a few hours on Saturday in the morning that are also available. In terms of chat, they're only available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Central Time, and they're closed on the weekend. So to me, this is a little bit frustrating, because if I'm a CPA candidate working full-time, then the majority of the time I'm going to have questions during the weekend, and I would really hope to have a response. But if you submit a question at 8 o'clock on a Friday evening, after they've shut down their customer support, you likely, unless you get lucky and get a response Saturday morning, you might not get a response until Monday or Tuesday. So, that's the problem with having a huge CPA review course in your corner, is that they can't give you individualized personal support, and you will probably have to wait at least 2 to 3 business days to get a response. So for me, this would be very frustrating, especially if I had an urgent question or something that I really didn't understand. So, I understand why they can't keep it all open 24/7, just because they're such a massive company. But again, if you want more personalized support, I would not recommend Becker for their customer support. And, it's a little frustrating considering you're paying $3,400 to use their course, that you couldn't have, more instant phone access or something like that to get your questions answered more quickly. So Roger CPA Review's Homework Help Center, plus their additional elite package offering of phone, email, and chat support, is some of the best customer service that I have found in any of the CPA review courses that I've looked at, and I've looked at almost every single one. So just to give you an idea, so here's their Homework Help Center. So we'll jump into audit here. So for each section, you have your own separate Homework Help Center. So let's just go ahead and look at the most recent question here. So let's see this. So this user right here, they asked the question on January 19th at 1:41 a.m. and received a response by 10:45 that morning. So pretty much first thing in the morning by a moderator who works for Roger CPA Review. And I've chatted with Roger CPA Review, and they have real CPAs on staff to answer these questions. So you know that the responses that you're getting are coming from people who are qualified to give you the response that you need for your homework, which is absolutely fantastic. And like I said and showed before, if you, let's see here, let's see if I can find it again real quick. So when you enroll in the elite customer, you get, if you are an elite package customer, you will get access to email, phone, and chat support in addition to the homework center. So this will give you, a response even faster than the homework help center, which clearly gives you a response very quickly. So overall, if you have questions, you can be rest assured that you'll get a quality response and have your question answered. So it's absolutely fantastic customer support, in my opinion, better than a lot of the other CPA review courses that I've looked at. Okay, so course access is extremely important to me, and Becker CPA Review, considering that you're paying $3,400 for their course, does not really do this. So they give you 18 months worth of access to their course, and then they offer what's called the Becker Promise Policy. So there's a lot of red tape that you have to go through. So basically you have to complete the majority of their course, which includes getting, you have to complete 100% of the skills practice, or at least view it. And then you have to correctly complete 90% of the multiple choice questions and simulations for each section in order to qualify. So that, to me, that can create a lot of busy work because, maybe, you only got 75% of the multiple choice questions right, and then you're scrambling at the end of your 18-month period because life got in the way and you got put behind, or, what life happens. And then all of a sudden you have to go through and figure out what all the right what the right answers are for all these extra multiple choice questions. So, maybe you've answered all the questions, but you just haven't gotten them right yet. So it creates a whole lot of busy work that, and if you don't do it, then you'll have to pay the full price again for Becker, which is just crazy. So, it's a little frustrating, and I did use Becker, and I fell into this exact same scenario, and I had to find a different CPA review course right in the middle of studying for CPA exam. So it was extremely stressful, and it just seems kind of crazy considering how much you're paying for Becker. So just be aware of the red tape, and 18 months, it can go by extremely quickly. And so, the tons and tons of red tape, and you have to submit it, and it gets even more complicated if you're going to a live classroom setting as well. So just be aware that's what Becker's course access policy is, that it's basically 18 months, or if you don't pass the CPA exam within 18 months, then you have to provide them with a ton of data showing that you completed nearly 100% of their course. All right, so something that's very near and dear to my heart, of course, is software access. So when I invest in a CPA review course, I do not want it to expire because life gets in the way, and stuff happens. And if you fall behind, then the last thing you want to do is have to fork out another couple grand to renew your access to the software in the middle of studying. So as I mentioned before, Roger comes with 3 different packages. So the select and most affordable package only gives you 18 months access. The Premier gives you 24 months, and the Elite package gives you unlimited access. So 24 months, that's a long time. I struggled to pass a CPA exam greatly, and it took me less than 24 months. So, I think 24 months is a very reasonable amount of time. But if you end up needing to take a break or, health issues or whatever, 24 months can go by very quickly. So it's more of an insurance policy to invest in the Elite course. And again, I do have discounts that will get the price of these courses down significantly. So you won't even be paying near $2,900. So again, check the comment section and video description if you want to check those out. But overall, I definitely appreciate the unlimited course access. I do hope the Premier gets unlimited soon. I can understand at the Select with 18 months, but I do know that Roger offers, if you do, for whatever reason, need to renew, there are, I think, 30% off discounts. So you're not going to be paying full price to renew. So they'll definitely help take care of you if life gets in the way, and they're very understanding. So overall, I'm pretty impressed with the software access options from Roger CPA Review. So Becker CPA Review, they have pretty standard supplements and one really weird one. So, they've got a final review product, which is basically a high-level video summary. They have a fast pass, which is basically an intense, if you want to pass the CPA exam quickly, you can take the fast pass. The Atlanta Intensive, this is a 5-week course that's 100% live if you want live classroom setting. They have flashcards, both digital and printed, supplemental questions, so basically like a test bank. Then they have a mobile app, which is really cool because you can basically, it syncs with your desktop or laptop software. So you basically, what's on your app is also happening on your computer, and it all syncs up. So you can truly study anywhere, which is pretty neat. And then this is the weird one. So Accounting for Empire. So it's a game that I guess you can play. I personally would not use it, but I mean they're trying to create a fun and engaging way to learn, but to me it's kind of corny and kind of a gimmick. But if you want to test it out, feel free, and maybe you will learn something. But I feel like there's much more efficient ways to learn than doing that. So overall, their supplements are reasonably priced. I mean, they do have the Becker Premium attached to them. So, for example, flashcards here. Let's take a look here. Printed flashcards are added to my cart. So, you're going to expect to pay. All right, come on. So about $180. That's pretty comparable to the other CPA review courses. So so again, the supplements are definitely good. I use the Becker flashcards as well, so I would highly recommend using them if you can. But if you already have the full course, you do have access to the digital flashcards, so you don't necessarily need the printed ones. But overall, I think the flashcards are probably the most important, and if you fail the section of the CPA exam, I would probably invest in their test bank as well, if need be. Okay, so in terms of study supplements from Roger CPA Review, they're pretty standard. They do have a cram course, which is mostly just an additional high-level textbook plus some extra video lectures to really get you prepared in your final couple weeks before you sit. They also have a multiple choice questions app for Apple, digital flashcards also for your iPhone, printed flashcards, audio lectures, some offline lectures if you're on the go and don't have internet access. You can also buy a 6-month extension if you need it. Or just the textbooks as a standalone, and they also have a test bank, or their interactive practice questions as well, which actually I'm not sure if you can buy those separately or not. Let's see. Yeah, so that's just what's included with their full packages. But anyways, these are all these study supplements, and they'll definitely help you if you're struggling to pass the CPA exam. Okay, so question of the day: which one is better for you, Roger CPA Review or Becker? So at the end of the day, you got to look at what you get for the amount of money you're paying. So Becker comes in at $3,400. Roger, after some discounts, will be significantly less than $3,400. In fact, it could be as low as $1,500 if the current promotion is running. So you get about the same amount of multiple choice questions. You get much better lectures, in my opinion. You get much better learning technology compared to when you compare the Smart Path to Adapt to You. It's clear that the Smart Path is much better and is actually going to be useful. And then the customer support is so much better as well. So you don't have the weekend customer support, whereas Roger CPA Review is on it. Like they're with it less than 24 hours. And then if you invest in their elite package, you're going to get even faster support through chat or email or even the phone. So again, I feel like Roger CPA Review, they have your back. And again, also in terms of course access time, Roger CPA Review has a much more liberal software access policy for its mid-level courses, and then unlimited for its elite, whereas Becker is very strict. They give you 18 months. If you don't do what they tell you to do, then you don't qualify and you have to reinvest again. and pay an exorbitant fee to renew your software. So again, don't take my word for it. Try both of these courses out. Directly below this video, there will be links where you can try Roger CPA Review and Becker CPA. Dive into these courses, check them out for yourself. Don't just take my word for it. But I feel like I've given a pretty accurate representation of both these courses. And to me, the overall winner, hands down, is Roger CPA Review. And again, just a quick reminder that, choosing a CPA review course, it really boils down to your study personality. So you can see all the bells and whistles of these courses, but if the features don't match up with your study personality, then maybe you need to continue researching and find a different course that will work better for you. So again, check out freecpaquiz.com to find your study personality. And I recommend discovering your study personality before making a final investment choice, because both these courses, they do cost a significant amount of money, and I don't want you to make the wrong decision like I did and go with the course that doesn't cater to how you learn. But for 95% of CPA candidates, I truly believe that Roger CPA Review is going to be a better option than Becker CPA Review. But again, that's just my personal opinion, and I really appreciate you spending the time with me today to learn more about both of these courses, and I wish you the best of luck.